So I have always been very fidgety, always needed something to do with my hands. Before there was origami cranes, there was always something. I was always playing with maybe a deck of cards, twirling a pencil, or playing with rubber erasers. It was always doing something with my hands, but what I found works the best with origami cranes is that it's constructive, and I love that. It's doing something very passively to create something.
Well-educated software engineer. When did you pick up your first sticky note?
Yeah, I've been folding cranes for a long time. It's something I picked up probably around middle school age and did it throughout the years, but really when I started working in an office for the first time and being in long meetings for the first time and realizing, oh, I need to do something with my hands. Sticky notes are everywhere in an office, and it just became my medium. These ones are quite small. Normally I fold anywhere from like a 3-inch to a 1 and 2 inch here. Just out of sticky notes. So this is an origami paper crane.
That looks like a bird to me.
It is, yes.
When did you know you were doing art with your folding?
From the beginning. So, it was something that I wanted to learn to challenge myself, right? I knew about origami and I thought I'll give it a try someday, and I did it, and I realized that it was something that really picked up for me. It's a very meditative practice in a way, because it's when you're first learning it, you have to really focus on the folds that you're doing and paying attention to it and being very precise. And over the years, it's just become something that has been wonderful to help with my restlessness.
I mean, you discover that it's art, so I'll go to that next statement of, are you using this as art?
So my art is what I have grus box. So grus being Latin for crane, and then box being representative of the things that I put cranes in. So I started with shadow boxes. This was something that I started giving away to friends and family because I had to get the cranes out of my house. But at this point I have so many cranes that I thought, oh, well, what else can I put them in? So I found different things from large jars to lanterns to different arrangements I can do in different frames, things like that. It's quite a mindset that I have now of seeing something and thinking I could put a few cranes in there.
First of all, tell me what you're doing as we speak. This is, you're doing art while we're talking. That is a talent.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So this is where it comes in, where it's like, it's something I can do, let my hands do while I'm focusing and paying attention to something else. So I don't really pay attention to the folds that I'm doing, but each one of them is very intentional in a way. It's just a lot of muscle memory at this point. So just letting my hands do this while I fold, and then as we talk, the cranes just keep coming out.
How does one study this art? Say he or she wants to learn origami, wants to learn to do what you're doing. Before I have you slow down and actually make me one, so that we can all see. Are there classes for this? I think you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely classes. I'm not sure if there's any available in the Kalamazoo area at the moment, of course, but
something you can do. You could
exactly.
teach it.
It's true. I'd be more than happy to. There's plenty of resources online. I would love to recommend people, go to a bookstore. Lots of bookstores have how to do origami. And a lot of the very basic folds are something that are fundamental in just how to fold a paper crane. So learning how to fold a paper crane, you learn a lot of techniques that you can apply to other forms of origami as well.
Stop right there. Give me a lesson.
All right, yeah, let me work with something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So these are still sticky notes.
Okay. But there's other materials you use for this, correct?
There are other materials. So there is origami paper, which is made for origami. It's a thinner paper. It's a lot easier to fold. Sticky notes is just something that I find very accessible, and I love accessible materials. So it's just what I went with. So I'll fold this one over the table here. You start by folding the crane in half, and then half again. It's a very symmetrical art. So pretty much anything you do to one side, you'll end up doing it to the other side. And I'll go not too fast, but a little fast. Here we go. This brings us to our bird base, which is the base, a basic fundamental of origami. Like I mentioned, a lot of fundamentals are available that you can learn in just learning how to fold an origami bird. We'll pop this side up. This guy's going to be our tail. And then we'll pop this side up, and we'll make this side our head. Pop a little head down, fold their wings out, and there we go.
Fly away crane. What else do you make?
Cranes are my thing. I can make other things, but the cranes are the ones that I choose to do. It's something that I've just done so often now, I don't even have to think about it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. Folding a origami crane is a very symmetrical process, so when you do something to one side, you're going to do it to the other side. So once I finish folding this in half, I'm going to open it back up again. I'm going to fold it in half diagonally the other way. Okay, now that you've got all of your nice creases, you're going to open that back up again. I like to fold it diagonally first. Make sure all my creases are nice and crisp. And then I'm going to fold this up. And what you'll find once you've made all of those creases is the origami paper will want to have this kind of natural fold where you can kind of bring this down and make a square out of this. This is going to be called the preliminary base, which is one of the few bases that is very fundamental when it comes to folding different origami things. So this is the very first step of folding the origami crane, is having this base done. The next step is we're going to do what's called a kite fold. And a lot of these folds are named in such a way that it makes sense for what you're going to do. So for the kite fold, we're going to fold this into a kite. So the important thing to keep in mind here is when you're doing that is with the preliminary base, you have two sides of it. You have an open end, and then you also have a closed end. So you want to make sure the open end is always what's on the bottom of your kite shape. So I've just done the kite fold here. Now I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side.
Tell me more about your design process and how you perhaps choose your color, or are they all one?
So yeah, the colors, a lot of my art is very colorful, and that's mostly due to the fact that I use sticky notes. So sticky notes are a very colorful medium to use. I do have a few pieces where I've chosen specifically to use one color for a specific thing, and those pieces I find to be very striking, where you'll have one color of a bird, but there's so many of them. What I love about sticky notes is that they're very bright, they're very colorful. So I love playing with that color, blending certain ones together that match or look really good together, or doing something that contrasts them. If they're so bright and vibrant, there's some that are completely on the other side of the color wheel from each other, and playing with that and having that represent what the cranes are.
I need to know about the Black series. Tell me about this art.
Yeah, so the Black series is one of my favorite ones that I've made. So it's got about 1,500 black origami cranes in it, and it's also lit up with LED lights. So it's something that I find really draws somebody into it, and that's what I love about that kind of art is from a distance you can't really tell exactly what it is, but the closer you get to it, the more interesting that you can see, oh, this is made up of several thousand different pieces. I have another piece that I don't have it named at the moment, but what it is it is I believe it's a 12 by 9 frame, something like that, a very standard frame. And it's got a number of yellow origami cranes in it, but there's one single pink one in the middle. What I love about that one is it really reminds me of just a flock of birds. The yellow ones just flocking all around the one pink one in the middle.
All right, how many of these cranes have you made in your lifetime thus far?
That I wish I had a solid ballpark number for. I don't really, but I can tell you that this year alone, I've made about 6,000.
Yes, and each counts.
Each one counts, exactly. Each one is a moment. Now that we've got both sides done here with our petal fold, this is now called the bird base, which is a pretty good spot to be in if you're going to be folding an origami crane. You want to get to this point here. Now you should have kind of two legs here on the bottom. What you're going to want to do with those, you want to fold those in half. So you're going to find your flat edge, you're going to bring that into the middle. Now this next fold here is, I would argue, is probably the trickier fold when it comes to folding an origami crane. It's going to be called the inside reverse fold. But what we're going to do, we're going to start by folding one side of our legs up, and then we're going to bring that back down. I'm going to go over to the flip side here, and we're going to do the same exact fold just to make sure that crease is nice and tight. Here's where it gets a little tricky. What you're going to do is you're going to open up the inside. So you have your flat face that we've been working with, where you have the legs that you folded on this side. You're going to turn it kind of at an angle and open it up. And now you see you have the creases here that we made from creasing it just a moment ago. You're going to kind of push it up. And what you'll see is that it'll naturally kind of want to fall into those creases that we made. And you just kind of let it go And what you should see in the end is that you've kind of pushed that up inside and reverse. So that's the inside reverse fold. We're gonna do that another time on the other side. So if you didn't get it quite right the first time, that's all right. It's very symmetrical. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna push that side up. Kind of let the sides fall in, and there you go. Now the last part of the origami crane is the only part that's not symmetrical, and this is the part where I like to tell people who are learning for the first time, you want to pick your least favorite side. And it's okay if you have a least favorite side, because that side, we're going to turn that into our head. So it's the same fold, it's an inside reverse fold. So you want to start by making a couple of smaller creases here for where our head is going to be. And then you're going to want to open it up from the inside and let that head push down and fold it so it is inside just like the other ones, but reversed. And the last step, you just gotta fold your wings down. And that's how you make a paper origami crane.
What reaction do you get from those who watch you do what you do?
Probably the number one reaction that I get is people who see me doing this, they say, "You're not even looking." And that's the key thing for me, is that it's not about focusing on the folds at this point. It's about focusing on the moment that I'm having with another person, or in a meeting, or watching a movie, you know. And the cranes are just a byproduct of that moment.
Is it to encourage those who, self-disclosed, are fidgety, that need to do things with their hands, yet look what you're making? How important is it that you encourage that?
I really encourage it. It's something that I've encouraged a lot of people to do, and I'm proud to admit that some people I know have picked up the habit from me. I think that it's a wonderful thing about creating something while also helping yourself pay attention to something else. So it's what I like about the constructive aspect of it, is that it's a very passive construction, but it's very real and it's very tangible once you're done with it.
Now, what are you going to do with all those we've just made?
Gonna keep filling up the jar. That's the plan.
Be sure to find us on YouTube and Instagram. Exclusive videos, extended content, and behind-the-scenes pictures. Just search Kalamazoo Lively Arts.